I am Professor Julius Ihonvere, ON DSSRS. I rise to move that the House, pursuant to Order 6, Rule 4110(9) and 2 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, do admit into the chamber the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, the Governor, Central Bank of Nigeria, the Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, FRS, and their entourage for the purpose of sectoral debates on the nation's economy. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Mr. Speaker, sir, leadership of the House and honorable member, thank you for inviting us here today to share our thoughts in a collective manner, the way we think we can charter the new course for our economy. And I will start by clearly state the mandate of federal inland revenue in the midst of all this. Our mandate is to assess, to collect, and to account for all accruable revenue to the Federation of Nigeria.
Order.
This is our mandate. We are not revenue generating agency. We are revenue collecting agency. And this is very clear because we are just a consequence collector of all the impacts of economic policy, either from central bank or from the Federal Ministry of Finance. I will start from what has happened in the last 12 months, challenges we have, the plan we have to solve that challenges, and then I will open for the question and input from honorable members. For 2023, the target for the service was set at 10 trillion from the national budget and from the Ministry of Finance. Through the efforts of them all and all of us here, we'll achieve 12.3 trillion. And this is not in isolation. This comes about because of the bold decision taken by Mr. President by rectifying the distortion in our economic parameters, the removal of subsidy, and then the wonderful work also being led by Central Bank in the unification of the rate. This has serious impact in the last 7 months of our collection because the rates that we use and also the wastage, so to say, from subsidy payment we were able to curtail that. So we have overperformance from both the VAT collection and company income taxes because of most especially those that are dollar-based. We have challenges in collection from our oil production, from oil taxes, and this is in connection with the low production compared to what we planned for in the budgets. All other type of taxes did well, most especially education tax, because we over that one by more than 290% that we used to do, that we overperform in education tax that we've collected. So this is the way we've done in the last 1 year, and as a result of that, we have the target for this year, based on the approved budget, to collect 19.2 trillion, which is 7.2 trillion more than what we actually collected this year. And given this economic condition and with the promise of Mr. President that we are not going to introduce additional tax, we are not going to increase any tax, considering the situation and welfare of our people, that what we need to do is to re-strategize within to make sure that we bring more people into tax net. So without increasing the tax rate, that will be able to meet the targets. And that is what has led to us restructuring the way we want to do it today in federal land revenue. Prior to this time, we used to have the group, being grouped in tax form, like VAT, you have stamp duty, you have all these segments by function. For us to be able to meet this target, with the approval of Honorable Minister of Finance, we structure, and then we move from that functional unit to customer-centric unit. And what would this do for us? One is that we want to develop our expertise in the way we address our customer. In this sense, our taxpayers. So we are grouping them today based on their turnover categorization. And you have large tax, you have medium, and you have small taxpayer. And what would this do for us? This will help us to serve them very well. So we've provided, as today, the one-stop shop for tax collection. And this will reduce the multiple investigation, multiple taxes that the taxpayer faces today. And then when they go to one tax office, they will be able to do all their taxes, from VAT, company income tax, stamp duty, and all forms of taxes. And this one will develop expertise within our team, because one of our vision and mission of Mr. President is that 80% of the work of federal land revenue must be done by the staff of the federal land revenue, because of the oath of confidentiality we have with the taxpayer. So this one will help us to concentrate on those that give us the best, because it's 80-20 Pareto that we were using. The less than 60 companies in Nigeria today contributed more than 67% to tax collection in form of the capital company income tax that we collect. So we've developed the strategy to make sure that we focus on our customer, in this case, our taxpayer, so that we can garner all what is needed. And not only that, because we are not only to collect taxes, because the relationship between the service and the taxpayer is that of symbiotic. We are providing the economic advice and taxpayer services to them, because the focus of Mr. President is not to tax the seed, not to tax the investment. We are not to tax the poverty. We are to focus on prosperity, we are to focus on the fruit, and we are to focus on the return on investment. And that is why coming together from CBN, Federal Land Revenue, planning, and other, because it is the result of their coordinated policies that result in prosperity, from which Federal Land Revenue will collect taxes. So for us, we also have the pillar in our services that we will develop our people, we develop technology, and we have process through which we will collect all what needs to be collected. The fair treatment is actually our guide word, because we are not to kill the tree that bear the fruit. We are to nurture, to fertilize the tree. And that is why the conducive economic environment, it is actually fundamental to achieving our tax collection. So having this sectoral conversation on the way to have a good economic environment, it is very important, and it is helpful for federal inland revenue. And,
Deputy Chief Whip, I hope you are timing him. Go ahead. You have a few minutes to finish.
So for us, as I've said earlier, we are consequential collector, because we don't generate revenue, we collect revenue. So the product of this wonderful coordinated economic policy, it is what will help us in achieving our goal and meeting our targets. So we have the technology, we have the people, and we have the process. And like I said, the oil production plays significant role in revenue, in achieving our revenue target, focusing more on being able to provide good security. It will also help us. And also, through the help of Honorable Minister of Finance, we have put many measures in place, one of which is what Mr. President has also approved, that going forward and implementing 2024 budget, the expenditure framework, income framework need to be synchronized. Mr. President has approved, and I know Honorable Minister has sent a circular to that effect, that going forward, all the payments, most especially from the ministry to all the contractor, will be done directly to the contractor. And why is this important? 7.5% is the VAT rate, and then you have 5%, almost on more than 90% of the contracts that government execute. So if you take it into the number, we have the capital budget of above 9 trillion for this year. If we collect 7.5% and 5%, as case may be, 12.5% of that 9.7 trillion is going to roughly above 700 billion. That is taxes alone from government. Apart from being able to collect our tax effectively, it will also help our cash management, because we are not only to collect, but we need to account for all the way we spend all this money. So because of my time,
Andy, round up, and
so,
you have 1 more minute, sir.
Okay. So I will now open for the question and the input from my honorable members, our honorable members, and the leadership.
Thank you very much. We'll call you up again, so you will just make your presentation and sit down.
Thank you.
The question time will be the same time, so that if they are related, your colleagues might help you to address the ones that are joint. So thank you for your presentation. You may have your seat, and we'll call you back.
Thank you.
Yeah. The next guest to make his presentation is our very own governor of the central bank. Let's have our brother Cardoso make his presentation.
And then I want to ask straight, what's your relationship with the other revenue collection agencies, customs, and then your relationship with state governments? Particular emphasis on how do you avoid double taxation on Nigerians? And then, do you have incentives for taxpayers? I'm not talking about the big boys, Dangote and all that. For the common Nigerians, what are the tax incentives you have that will encourage them to be in the tax net? Thank you.
This was our representative on the federal constituency. The area, my question is, Mr. FRS, I'm most concerned about the taxpayers being willing to actually participate in paying their taxes. I know you put in a lot of measures on how you want to encourage. So please, what are these measures you want to use to encourage the taxpayers to be willing to actually pay those taxes? And secondly, is there a win-win situation between the government and the taxpayers at the end of the day? Or is just a one-way street that the government collects taxes and Nigerians don't have any other thing to look up to as benefits? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, Mr. Speaker, my question goes to the Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue, FIRS. Some of the states, I cannot say general, including my own state, Jigawa State, are grumbling in increasing their internally generated revenue, IGR. As the Chairman of Joint Tax Board, what measures have been taken to ensure that the state effectively and efficiently collected those taxes in equivalent manner? That's my question. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I'm from Anambra State. My question goes to FRS. So we want to know the technological advancement and digital tools that you leverage on to enhance efficiency and transparency in the tax collection process. And then the second question is this. We're looking at the privacy the secrecy of the taxpayers. What are the steps taken to ensure that the taxpayers' information is held in utmost secrecy and privacy in this digital era? Thank you.
I represent Chibok, Damboa, and Goza Federal Constituency. My question is, bearing in mind the technological infrastructure in place in the area of revenue collection, what do you think, in your own understanding of revenue collection process, using advanced technology, inhibiting the proper revenue collections in the country? And which measures do you put in place, or do you have in place, to ensure proper monitoring, tracking, and reporting system of revenue inflows? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for all these wonderful questions and the inputs. So I will not answer them in any particular order, but I will take them as they come. The first one is on the relationship between us and other revenue collecting agency. As I've stated earlier, that we are premier revenue collection agency, and that is our role. So with custom and the MASA, other collecting agencies, the proposal we have, by God's grace, which we will do, is to have proper integration. We are not collapsing any revenue agency to any of our own. So, but we have integration that we can, that will make transparency possible. For example, there is one project Honorable Minister is leading now, which is a national single window. This one we have for import, export, and also for port community, so that we have only one point of contact for data. So when you have that, so when we have that, the collaboration between us and all other revenue generating or collecting agencies will be proper. So what we focus on is the project that we have that we call Data for Taxes. It's just to have one simple single point to get all the data of all our taxpayers, both for corporate and for individual. So as to the relationship between the state government, fortunately, I double as the chairman of Joint Tax Board, which also oversee or work in collaboration with the state internal revenue. And the way our law is structured, you know, all personal income taxes is collected by the state, but corporate and all other taxes we collect. So we will continue in developing capacity for state internal revenue agencies, because the problem you have there is that there is no enhanced capacity within the state to actually collect what belongs to them. One of the new focus of Joint Tax Board is to develop that collaboration, because most of us here stay in Abuja. If you look at our residency, it is to state, but how many of us actually our dividend, the withholding tax from dividend and everything is being remitted to state because they lack the capacity. So we are putting arrangement together between us and the state through Joint Tax Board to work and have this information sharing without compromising the confidentiality of the taxpayer. And the incentive for taxpayer comes in various ways. And just to put it in proper perspective, and that is why complying with tax is law. We administer law. It's not persuasion. It is law. We must comply with the law. If you fail to comply with the law, you've disobeyed the law. It's not about begging. So the duty of federal revenue is to administer the tax law. So the point of incentives and everything, because without taxes, there is no way we provide facility. So the only thing we are doing is to make sure that the taxpayer...
I'll be intervened once in a while. I will come in.
Yes.
The law you have currently.
You said?
The law, the tax law we have currently, is it adequate?
No, it's not.
Do you think it demands legislative intervention for amendment?
Yes, sir.
Have you made that proposal?
No, Honorable Minister is leading that because, you know, he's the head of fiscal policy. He's bringing those laws, our own.
You have sent your proposal to the minister?
Yes, he has it. He has emergency. Many acts that I...
Minister is nodding his head, which means he's concurrent.
Yes.
We would like, as a house, we would like to see your proposals.
Yes.
On how the existing laws needs a little adjustment to reflect the current dynamics and to be able to meet the purpose and the mandate for which FIRS was set up.
Thank you.
So go ahead.
Thank you. So, Honorable Minister is leading that. So, and then we talk about voluntary tax compliance, and that is why we've changed our structure. In my previous presentation, I said we are now moving from functional or unit categorization to customer-centric. We want to serve them well by knowing them and then making sure that we provide just one-stop shop for all the kind of taxes they have. Instead of moving from one office to other, we've changed that effective February 1, that now, if you are a large taxpayer, you go to an office, and that is where you solve all your taxes. The same thing for audit. You won't have what we used to have, having multiple audits at the same time. That has ended because we've merged compliance and enforcement as a group. So it is only from one person, and then this is customer focused in the way we are approaching it. And the other question is that what are the technological advancements, and then what are we doing to make sure that we have this data? You know, we have an agency of government by law that is set to register everybody in Nigeria, which is NIMSI that we have. So our focus from service is to make sure that the project,
Order, please.
the project we have, which is data for taxes, that will, by God's grace, register all persons above 16 years of age to have NIN, and this one become the primary source of identity. So when you have your NIN, your all these tax, TIN, every other thing, BVN, no, it becomes the primary source of data, because to effectively mobilize revenue within the country, you need to register all movable assets, which is we human beings, have immovable assets, and then you must have link with both. So when you go abroad, the reason why it's very difficult to evade taxes is because all the movable asset has been attached to a movable asset. You have good address that can be traced. So when you have NIN, your plate number, your house address, your bank account, everything is linked to this primary source of identity. Then we can then drive compliance, and driving it in such a way
1 minute, 1 minute more.
Order.
1 minute more.
That it helps order. And then when you talk about the Honorable asks, how do we make sure that people that pay taxes see the effect? If you watch in the few, like 2 weeks ago, Mr. President approved that portion of TET fund be used as source of funding for student loan. And there is nothing that will help take people out of this insecurity, unemployment, than educating them. Now we are increasing access to education through student loan, which major source is from education tax that we collect. And this become revolving. Because of my time, there is one question on tax credit. Like I said earlier, the mandate of Federal Land Revenue is to assess, collect, and account. We are not involving in appropriation. So tax credit utilization and everything is purely executive decision, which I know it's set up to fit certain target, and I know Honorable Minister is reviewing to make sure that whether that is the best way or the best approach to do going forward. Because of my time, if there is any other question, I will be available through mail and everything that I will be able to answer, so I can.
No, we have not discharged you yet. It can be available through mail. You are still here. So when you finish, you sit down. This is the first phase.
Okay.
If you have
Okay.
your email, should wait.
Thank you, sir.
At the right time, we'll go to that.
Thank you.
Right? But I should start from the government,
Yes.
so that all of us will, join. It will make our life easy. It is time saving. It's also cost effective. Thank you very much. You can sit down, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for checking out SYMFONI on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.